Hello everybody! Today I am going to be talking about Alienated, the series by Melissa Landers. It is a really great sci-fi romance where a girl named Kara Sweeney decides to accept an exchange student from the planet Lear to her hometown. And let's just say, obviously with it being a romance, Kara falls for said alien, but things are definitely not as it seems, as the aliens that have decided to come to this exchange program decide they do not want to make contact with Earth and go against their leaders. Now this is a 3-book series, and the next book is kind of them working on fixing all of the problems that occurred in the first book, and they are also introduced to another alien race that is not exactly happy with the Lear and Earth union. So then we get into the 3rd book, United, where they do a sort of face-off to that other alien race and try to prove that the Lear and Earth union is actually worthwhile. So it is a very quick summary of the entire story. So even though this book really centers around the romance between Kara Sweeney and Alex from planet Lear, there is a lot of other plots and themes centered around the book. There's a lot of diplomacy, there's a lot of action and fighting scenes because everybody knows intergalactic union between Earth and another planet would never happen smoothly. There are crazy factions who do not believe in this union. So there is action, there is plots, there's a little bit of backstabbing, and it hosts a lot of very strong characters. Kara is very strong-willed, very stubborn, and she tends to go into situations sometimes without thinking things clearly. So obviously they are flawed, they are very human, and there is a lot of character growth during the whole entire story, especially as Kara figures out that she can't do things on her own, and with the Lears trying to accept humanity into their lives. And though this story doesn't really hit concrete on a diverse topic, especially with the main characters, there is a lot of subtle, diverse elements woven throughout the story. The books are very fast-paced, and I didn't feel that there was any real slow patches. I just read it and continuously progressed through the story as I wanted to find out what is happening with these characters, and definitely with the final end battle on whether the Lear and the American Union will actually last. So it's definitely a very interesting read. A lot of people compare the story to the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. As you guys know, I did not like Lux by Jennifer L. Armentrout, but this book I definitely give very good star ratings to it. I would say as a whole, this book definitely deserves a 4.25 out of 5. Because it is not perfect. The diversity in this book is somewhat lacking, but as a whole it is a very good story, and it doesn't really have a lot of those tropes that people get irritated with, like insta-love and love triangles. I don't like those tropes, especially if they are done poorly, and they can be very overplayed. But this book was really refreshing to read for me, and I absolutely loved the characters and just learning about their growth and how they progressed throughout the story and as the plot progressed. With some series, I really don't want them to end, particularly The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. That one I was kind of dreading the end because I didn't want Leah's story to be over. But with this book, the way it played out, it didn't give me any of those "no, I don't want this story to end" vibes. It's not that I didn't want to read more about Kara Sweeney and a lot of the other characters in the story. It's just I was so pleased with how it ended to where I was in a very happy place when it did wrap up. So this book is very refreshing. I definitely recommend it to everybody who wants to pick it up because It is a really great, really cheesy, romantic read that also has some strong elements woven into it, but not so strongly woven into where it is a little daunting. It is just a really great, pleasant read. If you have read Alienated and finished all the way to United, please let me know down below your thoughts on the story. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye!